Conversations with Malik podcast show, coming to you from New York. We're glad to have you and thank you all who are listening or watching this show. This podcast is about the stories of transformation of regular people during the basic struggle and pain of life. Everyone has a testimony. We all have survived the darkness. Now let's talk about how we got to the light so we can help our brothers and sisters who still haven't overcome their demons. But guess what? We all have devils on different levels. So through conversations, we use the tools of insight to light the path of hope. Let's have a chat and stop running from our issues. If we live through it, then talking about it probably won't kill us. That's what we're doing. Talking, crying, looking inward so we can grow outward is the theme of this show. Right. The caterpillar transforming into the butterfly is the goal and purpose of this podcast. When you talk about you, I learn about me. Iron sharp as iron, and steel sharp as steel. So we can cut through the fog of despair into the hope of today. So we here. How you doing, my brother Jeff Jones?
I can't call it, man. Another day. I'm excited, man. We got a show.
We got a show today, and we've been recording, man. And you know what a long way from the den. Us starting in the den, back in January, man. And listen, we want everybody to please follow us on Facebook. Conversations with Malik.
Like us on Instagram.
It's Spotify.
Look, Stitcher,
iTunes.
They ain't got no excuse to not being able to listen to us.
But listen, we really need you to like us, subscribe, share us, share the word, because this show is about inspiration. So that's been good, and that's the type of stuff I want to hear, that, hey, we play a plus in somebody's life.
Right.
And today, today we have a special guest. We got Dr. Dre. Your MTV Raps was, for me, that's when I started watching them. I used to rush home to watch these two fools, him and Dre.
I literally, Dre need to hear this. I literally ran home when I knew it was coming on, man.
Did you bust your shit before?
Yo, listen, let me tell you something. It ain't bad. Come on.
Yeah.
These guys interviewed pretty much everybody that was in the game.
Yeah. That was the place to go for that. And many people that weren't in the game, believe it or not.
And people that wasn't in the game. There might have been a few that I didn't know about.
James Brown.
Okay, yeah.
Mel Gibson.
Mm-hmm. There was actors and stuff. Yeah.
Right. Before Shaq before he was a professional basketball player, he was on the show.
He sure was.
We had quite a few different people. It was a transitional show that was very new to MTV.
Right.
It brought actually the hip hop experience to the channel in a way that they didn't know what to do with it.
Right.
And the one thing that Ed and we agreed upon from day one is, whatever we do, be us. Don't try to absorb and be on MTV and be MTV-ish. Just be us.
Yeah.
So I'd be like Black or something like that, right? No. We decided just to be ourselves and bring forth what we had. And because I had a history prior to getting to Yo MTV Raps, with working at the world famous WPAU at Delphi University, with my partners, Mr. Bill Stephanie.
I know that.
Carlin Ride, now also known as Chuck D, or
Chuck D.
We're going to Chuck D, Spectrum City, President Hank Shockley, Keith Shockley, Butch Cassidy, and of course the one and only MC DJ Flavor Flav at the time. Well, it wasn't Flavor Flav, it was MC DJ Flavor at that time. Moving on and doing stuff with DJ for the Beastie Boys for quite some years, dealing with the politics of a record label. I was blessed with meeting a gentleman named Peter Doherty while I was with the Beasties quite a few times. He saw me DJing at a loft party with Beaver and Jessica Rosenblum at the time. And he came up to me and said, "Hey, you ever see this show we're doing, Yo MTV Raps? You see that? See the pilot?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "What do you think?" I said, "Well, I thought it was okay." So it was quite a journey beforehand. It wasn't just like an overnight stop at fingers. And being on WNWK after Mr. Magic went on to BLS and all the different other experiences I had, being a record promoter, being a DJ in the street, I mean, all over parks and everything.
DJs became DJs for making their bones back in the days.
Right.
You had the DJ in parks and at jams and all that.
And house parties, and community centers.
That's how you became a DJ.
And strip clubs like I did. You know, you do that.
Yeah.
But I was the first person that
Strip clubs too?
Yes, I started out DJing in a strip club at 14 years
What's
old.
wrong with DJing in a strip
Hey,
club?
listen, man. That's where it's at.
They need music too.
That's where it's at.
It was a wonderful educational experience. I was the first person to put turntables on a show on MTV and actually play music. It was like, is he really going to do that? That works. It did. It just happened to work. Mm-hmm. You know, Ed and I are the only show that ever programmed every video you ever saw on your MTV Raps.
Everybody liked Ed Lover. That was actually before I actually started at Andrew Jackson.
Met Ed at the audition for Yo MTV Raps today. Mm-hmm. That was our show.
Yeah.
And Ed continued to work as a security guard in Jackson for the first year. Because the one thing that we thought about doing Yo MTV Raps today, well, this is a summer job, it'll be off any time. And even when we got the contract, we both looked at it like, we don't be here now. This don't mean anything. This is a piece of paper.
You know, having you on, and I said, oh, there's some questions that I really want to get to and I really want to ask him. What are some of the keys to having a great show and having sustained success? What are the most important keys?
First key to having a great show is to thy own self be true. Don't try to be somebody else's show. For example, my partner and I were talking about Drink Champs.
Yeah.
And a lot of shows that I go to, everybody tries to be Drink Champs. I said, that's already there. Or they try to be Nori.
Right.
That's already there. Mm-hmm. Or you want to be this one. Why don't you find where you're at? Mm-hmm. You know, just say, you know what, this is what I'm going to do. And one thing we don't have today that we had back then, patience.
Originality.
No, it's not patience. Because to gain an audience and have people want to take their time out of their day and actually pay attention to what you're doing requires patience.
Yeah.
Keep plugging it. And then you're going to find something that's going to make you go, this is kind of cool. So when you say sustain that kind of popularity, the first thing is first. Don't be afraid to take a chance. Don't be afraid to say, oh, that didn't work.
Right.
Let's try this. Let's try that. I'm going up to Epic, which is Michael Jackson. And I looked down and one of the guys goes, you're Dr. Dre. I said, yeah. You guys are funny. You guys made me laugh. And I turned and looked at this Tito Jackson. Mm-hmm. I'm like, oh, hey, man, what's going on? And I turned him up, right? And there's Randy's there and Jackie's there. And there's another guy there with a hat on, with his head down. And a collar popped up.
And that was Michael.
It was Michael.
Wow.
And he's giggling and laughing. And they brought up, they said, yo, when you pushed that bad side, we all fell out. Wow. So where we all, again, so that was taken that way. He got the joke.
Yeah.
But then when we were at Hot 97, we were supposed to interview Janet Jackson. I think it was the Janet album. She refused to interview us. She wanted to hear all the questions. Because she was like, no, she was afraid. She was afraid of what we were going to say.
We're going to ask her, okay.
And it wasn't like we were going to jump on her and say, oh, so what are you doing? And I saw you naked. And I said, no. It's like, where you feel comfortable, we'll go.
We'll go. Well,
if you don't feel comfortable, we'll back up. But we're gonna keep it honest to our listeners.
Right.
And then Angie Martinez ended up doing the interview.
Well, with that being said, what are some of the things that you would say to us to kind of watch out to avoid maybe from some mistakes that you made in the past?
I told you, mistakes make success.
You have type 2 diabetes.
Yes.
You're struggling with some health issues. How long?
I don't think I'm struggling. I think I'm just going through what you know, life's
right.
ups and downs.
How long has it been since the vision has gone?
I actually lost my vision when I was doing a thing called retinopathy, and I lost myself one at a time. I didn't really lose it just to diabetes. I have what's called scar tissue in the back, so I get what's called blurred in vision sometimes, where it fractures in and it fractures out. And so I got more devout on a very herbal and one of my big mentors and the man that kind of saved my life was Dick Gregory, and his doctor, Dr. B, put me on a path.
Right.
How to change things. And then my good friend, Dr. Ulysses Jackson, who also has a great set of herbs called hummingbird, where he has merengue, Medina, pain relief, and detox. Right. No, dude, detox is a little different thing. Yeah. It's about getting that parasite stuff out of your body. So you got to change a lot of things that you're doing normally.
Was there some other effects that you had besides the visual loss? Or something about your toes? Did you lose a toe?
Yeah, I lost my what they call my grand toe on my left foot. Okay. I have another thing called Charcot, which is a side symptom of having diabetes where your ankles collapse. Okay. But you know what I did? I went to the most powerful being that I know. I sat and I had a talk with God, and God said, no, I need you down there. I have a path I'm putting you on that's going to be remarkable. You've changed the world.
Yeah, you did that.
In very simple strokes. All lives do matter. But but they're doing this to us. Yes, they are. I'm not denying that.
Yeah. Right.
But what can we do to change that behavior? You black people, you take things for granted. You always want something. I said, let me tell you something. How did you get here? And he said, what do you mean how I got here? I'm from my granddad and I flew over the planes. Yeah, well, we came under a ship chained to it.
The reason that you can come here and benefit off of the perks of living in America is because we fought and died for people of color to have certain rights in this country. So when you come over from another country, even our Haitian brothers and sisters, our brothers and sisters from Jamaica or whatever it is, listen, you are able to benefit off of what the African Americans here went through and sacrificed.
I tell them all, could y'all put that Caribbean crap and shove it up your ass? Because that's where they used to drop the slaves off to be taught to be slaves. While y'all sitting around being that decisive and being
we getting our asses handed to us.
Everybody's getting out of it. I said,
ask Trump for them if they care.
Try this thought. Could you imagine just for a moment, if we could bring all these folks together? Because I try to remind African American people, only 13% of the population.
Oh, no doubt.
So I don't know what equality you're screaming about. The country's run by 1.5% of the total nation. So they come up with these other agendas and laws, and they pit us against each other. They try to prove it. If we, for example, let's get through a West Indian Day parade without any violence. If we don't start taking social responsibility, economic responsibility, political responsibility for ourselves, then you can use the laws that exist there, because then in numbers, you can make change.
No doubt.
I'll tell you honestly, I didn't vote for Barack Obama. I thought it was a wasted vote.
Really?
Yes, and I'm gonna tell you why. Hillary and Bill could go into Washington and clean it up before he got there. And if he did it in that line, he'd be president right now.
Black people, you have to vote in other elections other than presidential elections.
How do we bring these communities? How do we bring all of us together?
Before we close the show, I want you to plug, Dre, whatever it is that you got going on.
I think it's going on, Dre. I got Two Blind Mics. Check it out. It's a podcast. You can get it right now. We're on hiatus. Don't forget Dr. Dre's Flesh Room, which will be pretty much a little bit everywhere. We're moving into a new facility.
Yeah, I heard you got some work done to the studio or something like that. That's the end of the show. Conversation. Yo, we got Dre here. Dre, thanks for coming out.
I appreciate you.
You had a great time. Yeah. And remember, I end the show like I usually do. Conversations with Malik loves you, brother Malik loves you. And there's nothing you can do about it. Peace.